Today I will be doing a video on Antebellum. In present-day America, black people are kidnapped and forced to work on a plantation. The production value is lower than what I expected. It looked like a cheaper version of 12 Years a Slave. You can tell the actors are talented, but for some reason their acting was off. The whole energy of the movie seemed off and very low budget. This was supposed to have a theatrical release, but it was moved to VOD because of the Chinese virus. But it looks like a streaming movie, not a mainstream movie theater event. And this was just my first impression, so I was automatically let down. I want to go into positives. Despite the movie looking cheap, I did eventually start to really like this. It was pretty suspenseful at times. It had a nice build up during the kidnapping scene, and to top it all off, it does not have a white savior. I was so worried about that throughout the entire time, especially involving one male character. I thought he was going to be like a fake liberal bleeding heart, and this was going to force a white savior on us, but it never did that. It reminded me of a female version of Get Out, especially during the end. The lead actress, Janelle Monáe, I don't know if she's a foundational black American or not. I doubt she is, but her whole vibe was off. She's really not a good actress at times. She's passable in some scenes. She knows how to act with her face, but her voice at times is disconnected. I thought her co-star, Kiersey Clemons, was much better and even had a standout scene where she's freaking out in a cotton field. That was the first time I started to like this movie, and it really did get my blood pumping. Jenna Malone was pretty awful as well. Her southern accent was horrible. I was thinking maybe she had a fake accent in the movie, like her character was playing up the slave owning southern belle. And I assumed later on she would break out of her accent when she wasn't role playing anymore, especially during the final act. But nope, she stuck with it. I honestly want to know if she was dead ass serious with that accent. There's this one conversation that Janelle has with her daughter about a white guy she's debating on TV, and I did not like what was said. I know sometimes you have to dumb things down so a child can understand, but Janelle's character should have been honest about racism and white supremacy and why the white guy on TV was angry. Later on, she also talks about intersectionality and classism and racism, and I roll my eyes. Another thing that stood out to me, and this is a minor spoiler, I know that in a lot of horror movies, there's always a final girl, but for a movie like this, it didn't sit right with me. To me, there were two different ways of seeing this. The first message was that you can't depend on a black man to save the day because they are weaker than the white men they are up against. Or it could mean that the black man will sacrifice themselves in order to save a black woman. I'm going to go with the first one because it reminded me of the Star Wars movie where Finn couldn't fight to save his life. The Finn character was absolutely useless. And in this movie, the black man has a very defeatist mindset, and he kept foreshadowing his own demise. He was just failing before even trying. But just to wrap this all up, it did start very rocky, but eventually I did really enjoy it. I was going to give this a 4 halfway through, and then by the end, I bumped it up to a 6. So yeah, I do recommend it, at least for a first time watch. I do think $19.99 is really expensive, especially for the production value. But yeah, 6 out of 10.